This is the CJ3 Foundation, and I'm the director and founder, Eric Thomas. Give me your undivided patriotic attention as we're about to impart on you another story of service and sacrifice representing our mission, serving our nation's wounded heroes. We are operating in the land of the free because of the brave. Let's uphold our oath, leave no warrior left behind, and support our thin green, blue, and red lines. Why? Because this will defend. Uncle Sam and CJ3 want you. This is the CJ3 Foundation.
What's your name?
Eric Thomas.
All right, so you served in the Army, right?
I did.
How much time did you serve in the Army for?
Joined the Army in 1996 and got out in 2007.
Okay, and why did you decide to join the Army?
I grew up in small town Iowa, in a place that's extremely patriotic and is all about service, and grew up in a family that's all about service, and so I knew it was going to be police, fire, military, something. And interesting thing, I've gotten to do all of them. And so, as we were dating, my wife, at the time, my girlfriend, we were engaged, and she got pregnant, and I was a volunteer firefighter, and so I needed to get paid, and so I figured now's a good time to join the Army.
Okay. And what was your job or role in the Army?
Started out as a 19 Delta reconnaissance scout in the Army. Bottom line is, we're the guys that go to the forward line of troops and go sneak and peek and gather battlefield intel, and then later on switched over to 97 Bravo counterintelligence agent. So I was a special agent for the Army, basically looking for people spying against our country.
Okay. And what was your favorite part about serving?
I don't know if there's one part. I enjoyed all aspects of it. I enjoy the discipline of it. I enjoy what other job can you go to work and you get paid to work out? You get to go play with weapons and ride cool vehicles, and you're surrounded by like-minded individuals, right, that believe in the cause and believe in what you're doing and believe in the country. So it's just it was a good environment to be in, especially for a kid trying to grow up.
Okay. And what is your biggest takeaway from serving?
Service is important. It gives you a different perspective, right? When it comes to voting, when it comes to appreciating what we have in the United States, when it comes to valuing family and what you have, when you've gone to some of the worst places in the world and fought for our country, it puts a whole different perspective, right? It gives you an appreciation for who we are, where we are, and what we are, and regardless of what you see on the news, it's not as bad as it looks.
Okay. So now switching over to the CJ3 Foundation, how did you come up with that, or what made you want to start that?
Go ahead. Do you mind if I tell you what it is first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
First of all, so the CJ3 Foundation, our mission is serving our nation's wounded heroes. Wounded heroes, we serve wounded veterans, wounded law enforcement, wounded fire, wounded emergency first responders. We do that through three primary initiatives. The first one is CJ3 advocacy. That involves being up on the Hill, attempting to get legislation changed to assist those groups. It involves if we have somebody that's struggling with benefits, or like we just had a service dog that wasn't, we provided a service dog to a veteran and he wasn't welcome back to work with the service dog. So getting politicians involved, legislators involved, and getting down there and educating folks on Americans with disabilities rights, and things like that. That's all part of advocacy. Number two is CJ3 service dogs. That's the fun part, the part everybody loves to see. They get to see the service dogs. We provide service dogs to all those groups. And then finally, it's CJ3 Mental Health and Wellness. We have a facility in Iowa that we focus on holistic health, kind of the mind, body, spirit thing. We believe in, we got doctors that, psychologists that works on the mind. We've got chiropractor to focus on the spine. We've got gut health doctors. We've got social workers. We've got all these folks that converge on our veterans, and we focus predominantly on PTSD and TBI, but work on other issues. So that's kind of who we are. The why. I'm a 100% disabled combat veteran. Due to some of my injuries I sustained in the Middle East, I started seeing the Veteran Affairs Hospital, and they were less than helpful. And so as I was going through the process, somebody said, hey, would you cooperate if you had a dog? With your injuries, you could use a service dog. I was like, great. So they offered me a service dog, and they wrote me a prescription for one. I said, cool, when do I go get the dog at? And they're like, oh no, you got to figure it out. So I spent a year trying to figure it out and found an organization that gave me a service dog. I very much appreciate the organization, and I'm not disparaging them at all, but I thought there should be something else. And so I looked for other charity foundations I could participate in, because I really didn't want to start one. And so I couldn't find places that I agreed with their values and their mission set, and so just decided one day, working with some friends, that we needed to start one ourselves. And so that looked at more than just a dog or more than just mental health, kind of did the holistic, kind of a family thing. And so we started CJ3 Foundation. It started back in September of 2020.
Okay, and where does the name CJ3 come from?
I get that question a lot. CJ3. So the C stands for combined. It's a combined effort by everyone, really, to support those groups we were talking about. The J is for joint, because it's veterans, military, law enforcement, fire, emergency responders, and the three in the military, the three shop is operations, and so it's really combined joint operations if you really spelled it out. But CJ3 rolls off a lot easier.
Okay. So you mentioned some of like other foundations or charities that did similar things, but not quite the same as CJ3, right? So do you know any at all that do kind of the same?
There's various organizations. I don't know of any organization that does the whole thing, which is kind of why we started. Because I operate in the charity world, assisting veterans and the other groups, I run across a lot of folks. We partner with a lot of folks. There are a bunch of service dog organizations out there. Some are really good, some aren't. But ultimately, yeah, there are groups that do aspects of what we do, but I haven't run into one that does the full thing.
Okay. So you do the foundation stuff, and then you have a full-time job, right?
I do.
How does that like work for you?
It eats up a lot of my time. So I'll just say, I have a full-time job in the federal government. I'm a senior with the federal government. But what I find is that allows me to do the other stuff, right? So it's important to our foundation that 100% of what comes into our foundation money-wise goes out to support the people we serve, right? So nobody on our staff gets paid for what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing, and so nobody's wealthy, but we're all comfortable. Everybody on our staff's a senior in their organization, and that provides us with accesses to people and resources and things to be able to do our job. So the job enables me to do what I do, but my passion is the charity. And so basically, like I tell people, I have 2 full-time jobs.
Right. Okay. So how long did it take you to like kind of build the whole foundation, the community, and get everyone together?
I mean, I don't know if I have a specific answer for you. So We started in September. IRS granted us our status, our charity status, in September of 2020. It all happened really fast. We got that status approved in 45 days, which is unheard of, which helped tell me we were on the right path and we'd gotten the right partners behind us to build this thing. We're always building and tweaking it. We're always taking lessons learned and best practices, but the foundation of who we are and what we are has remained the same since our inception. And so it continues to get bigger and better every year. We've been, what are we at? Coming up on 2 years. And, I was expecting it to stay about this big, and it's grown about this big. That's a blessing. It's a good thing. And we hope to see continued success. So I think if you have aspirations of coming in and having a large charity, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. If you come in and just with aspirations and ideology of you wanting to help and assist, and what happens, I think that's a better recipe for success. And so, I don't know where we'll be in a year, but if we're on the same path, it keeps growing exponentially.
Okay, and the last question, if there was one thing you would want everyone to know about the CJ3 Foundation, what would it be and why?
I'm going to say two, just because I'm obstinate. But the one is, the people we serve are underserviced and underpaid, and they deserve respect, they deserve love, they deserve our appreciation, and they're not getting supported the way they should. If they were, we wouldn't exist, right? There would be other programs, federal programs doing. Problem is the federal programs aren't as nimble as we are in the private sector. The other thing is, the unfortunate part of running a charity is, it takes dollars to run a charity. And so we can only serve and help as many folks as we have dollars and donations and all that to serve. And so that's the unfortunate part. I don't like being a salesman. I never want to be that guy, that Tupperware salesman that somebody's like, oh, here comes Eric again, gonna ask for money. I'm not that guy. What I believe in, actions speak for themselves. And so what we've had a pretty good recipe of, as people see our successes, they donate. And so just remember, money drives the train, unfortunately, but it's a worthwhile train. So that's where we're at.
All right, cool. So that's it. Thank you.